a game known around the world.
The time has come for El Clasico.
A rivalry that runs deeper than just the court.
Final seconds to win the game. He's hit it!
This is basketball heritage.
Oh, no, he didn't.
This is El Clasico.
The Rivalry Series presents El Clasico. What's up, everybody, and welcome along EuroLeague fans to this special night. It's Barcelona against Real Madrid, two of the globally most names in sports, and these two collide tonight. The EuroLeague Titans, and we're excited to have you guys with us, and we're the guys doing this for you and only for you. My name is Lisa Ramushkat. I am your German host for the night, and as you can see, I have the desk full of incredible pundits from all over Europe as well, so I'm excited to introduce them to you right now as well. As you can see, right to my left, we have a former player for both teams, for Barcelona and Real Madrid. Please give it up in the chat for Alain Air France Digbeu, and I'm guessing you're in trouble tonight, Alain.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Very super exciting to be here. And I'm in some kind of trouble today, but hey, we're here to celebrate basketball. We're here to celebrate the Clasico. So let's not...
Let's not shoot too sharp. Yeah, let's see about
too
that.
early now. Yeah, please. Thank you.
We'll see. But let's keep the round going. Right next to you, we have a former Barca player, former NBA player, and now he is the managing director of the Player Association. Welcome to the crew, Boštjan Boki Nakbar. Very excited to have you too.
Thanks for having me. This is great. I mean, being here today on such a big day with this big game and having you guys here in the company,
Yes.
I couldn't think of something better.
And on the far left, we're more than excited to have you, my guy. You're going to bring the whole different perspective to the table. This is MotoGP star Maverick Viñales. You're Catalan through and through, so I'm guessing we know for who you're going to be rooting tonight. And Maverick, you got to tell us before we start, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a EuroLeague fan are you?
Well, I'm always a fan of sport. I'm a fan, of course, from basketball. It's an honor to be here. What I can say, you know, since I'm a kid, I grew up doing sports, of course, doing basketball, playing in it, playing on the street. So we are a big fan, and in MotoGP also, you can feel that every sport we follow, we are always a fan and we are passionate. So yeah, I'm curious to see, I'm curious to hear from you also the advice, and very curious to see also the game. You know, I've been looking some games. Obviously, I'm from Girona, so I go to the Girona stadium and I'm looking on there, but also this stadium looks really cool. So I'm really excited to see what the guys can do. I love the see nice smash, and this is what I like.
Yeah, we're hoping for some action for sure. Welcome, first of all, and it's not just the four of us here at the desk, but we have one more colleague out there for you who's gonna run around, go take you behind the scenes, speak to hopefully some cool VIP guests, and that's nobody else than Dane Arlakis. Dane, what's up, my guy?
What's up, gang? What's up, Lisa? Man, that's a good-looking crew on the set, isn't it? I'm over here in the mix zone. I'll be walking around pregame looking for anybody and everybody who just wants to chat with me a little bit about this huge game to come. So get your pincho de tortilla, get your pan tumaca, maybe a little cervecita, and enjoy the ride with Lisa, with Boki, with Alain, because they're going to be guiding you all the way up to tip-off.
Really exciting to be, you know, finding out who Dane will have on the mic tonight. And of course, you guys at home are the most important people of this night for us, and this is all about you and all for you. So let's have a look at what's coming up tonight. We will, for example, have a closer look at the legacy, the history and tradition of these two iconic clubs. We can see a couple of celebration pictures right here. We will have one of them celebrating tonight again. Of course, we will compare the merits of basketball over football. I can feel that this discussion might get a little spicy, especially in the chat. We'll have a look at that as well. And then, of course, we will highlight the key players and matchups to look out for. Have the word over to Dane over and over again. And of course, as I said, this show is for you guys at home. We will have an eye on the chat throughout the entire night, so please get in touch. Let us know what you would like to know from our guests and pundits here at the desk. We can ask the players your questions. We want you to discuss in the comments. We would like you to be part of this, so please do that and take part in our poll as well. The hashtag is Rivalry Series, and yeah, excited for this night to start. So Maverick, you already said when you were here last. What about you guys? I can imagine it's been a while.
It's been a while, Lisa. I mean, I played in Barcelona between 99 and 2002, so
that's wild.
we had a little chat, you know, before that with Maverick, you know, speaking about our age differences. But it's funny, you know. It's been a while, obviously. But I came here like 2 years ago, I think, to watch a game. But it's always a pleasure, you know, to come back to Palau. This is where I started my career out of France. So only good memories, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
I've been here last week, so.
So you don't count?
Yeah, no, I've been here for a meeting with players, but other than that, yeah, it's been 7-8 years since I played here, and it feels like yesterday. Time flies fast, but you know, this arena is as old as it is. It has a charm and it has a special energy. So when it gets full and when the Clasico comes by, this arena becomes alive, and I'm sure it's going to be the same tonight.
Oh, it will be incredible tonight. And as you said, time flies fast. And I would like to have a look with you guys at the history, because this matchup really is, you know, its own universe. It's microcosmos within Spanish history, culture, and passion. The first clash went down in 1940, so now we're looking at over 300 matchups until today. And this is not just about points. This is about pride. This is about identity and bragging rights. For those who are not, you know, the regular EuroLeague fan, you can think of kind of Game of Thrones with dunks and fast breaks and without swords and a lot of blood. So let's have a look. Really nice to see those pictures. What do these pictures do to you guys?
It's a lot of emotions, obviously. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of pride, a lot of tradition, a lot of sweat, a lot of friendship, and you know, it's amazing. You know, I'm in a special position, obviously, you know, because I've been on both sides. But you know, sometimes, you know, that's what basketball brings you. I'm talking about great experiences, you know, on both sides. But obviously those images, you know, they tell you that translates, you know, the passion of basketball and the passion around a Clasico, and Boki has been playing for Barcelona as well, so I think he can.
Yeah, I've only been on one side.
Yeah,
But,
you're a good guy. You're a good
still
guy. I
feel
get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
but one thing that I would add to the list of things that you added that these games provide is respect. I think the immense respect between the clubs, between the players. I always felt that. I'm sure this is a player, right? Those players across the court are enemies for those 2 hours, but you have tremendous respect for them because you know what they go through on a daily basis. You know they're professionals. You know their struggles. You know their ups and downs. You feel that. But when that ball goes up, you know it's full force, and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens tonight.
Maverick, as a Barca fan, which I imagine you are just in general with the brand, there's also football on the horizon, right? How do you feel basketball or EuroLeague has been evolving over the years in comparison to the football side?
I think both the sports are really experienced. What I experienced from basketball is that when you feel it on the pitch, it's something completely different than on the TV. So I always say to the people, go to watch it in the pitch, because then you will fall in love with basketball.
Oh,
the show
sad.
on the halftime is impressive. I like a lot. So I think the people don't realize how good it is until you come here and you see all the show, you see also the players, how they play, how difficult it is. And also I have a question for both of you. It's how do you prepare mentally for a game like that can put the season up or down?
That's a really good question. I think at least I try to approach it the same as any other game. You don't want to make a big difference between any other game and this game, even though it is big in the media, with the fans, between the clubs. But you try to have the same approach, because otherwise I think you put too much pressure on yourself and things can go off easily. So that's at least how I approached it. But of course, it's easier said than done. But that's how I treated those games.
Yeah, I mean, I think you made a very good point. But yeah, everyone approaches.
But
approaches in different ways. I mean, my time, obviously, I was coming from France, and it was the first time that I discovered the Clasico. And obviously, my friends here, the guy that were working around us, they automatically put a lot of pressure around the game. So I was like, wow, it's a do or die. What's going to happen if we lose and stuff like that. So it was you could feel the passion, you could feel the people, really involved. And I will always remember, the 6 or 7 days prior the Clasico, it was like time was suspended. It was like no one is moving. Like the old movies, like the westerns. Like you see the stuff, rolling down the street and stuff. I'm like, what is going on in Barcelona? Nobody moves, nobody talks. Yeah, it was crazy. So that was my first experience, and I will never forget that.
there are more factors, though, to comparing the Clasico right here on the pitch and outside on the grass. What about the pace of the game? Let's talk about that. I can imagine that we have some more speed in here, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, Maverick knows a lot about speed.
About speed, yeah. You should ask Maverick, actually, yeah.
We live in the speed.
Yeah, exactly. But I think basketball has its own pace. By that, I don't mean it in a boring way. I think basketball is very specific. And it's not just the speed. I think one thing we got to talk about also is verticality. A lot of sports are either vertical or they are, going from point A to point B. In basketball, you really have this kind of a 3D sport where you got to move back and forth laterally and be able to jump. So it brings all of it. But pace is something that we see more and more, in European basketball, especially EuroLeague, it being the highest one. It's increasing. The game is becoming faster. It's becoming more athletic, and with that, more exciting.
Definitely, I totally agree with Boki, and obviously we receive a lot of influence, from the NBA regarding the pace, and many teams, are trying to multiply the possessions on the court. So it's a lot of threes, a lot of fast breaks, a lot of transitions. But hey, we have to not forget that probably between all the sports, we are talking about amazing athletes. Like you said, the verticality, the running. It's just amazing how gracious the basketball players are. We should not forget about that.
And speaking about big names, I mean, everybody knows who's been watching any type of sports over the last, over the last decade, the big rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo. That's been, the headline of every Clasico for over years. Who do we have in the EuroLeague? Let's start about power, maybe. We have power, too. We got Jan Vesely. What you got for us, guys?
I mean, Jan Vesely is definitely a force. I mean, he's a guy that has improved his game from year to year. Now that he's a veteran, he's a guy that also has expanded his range, also because of the things he has to do on this Barca team. He's not just an athlete like he was early in his career. And, he brings that excitement. He brings energy. I think some of his plays that he makes in crucial moments, whether it's a block, whether it's a dunk, brings the energy, brings the crowd into the game, and it changes games at times.
Jan is a special player. He's one of the most recognized players in this competition. And obviously, me being in Istanbul, I saw him rising, and becoming a star. But obviously, he has always been a star. But coming from Partizan, where he was playing the three, which is amazing, being like seven, almost 7 footer. Exactly. The way he moves, the way he slides, and his ability, to defend multiple positions. And like Boki said, like Boki mentioned, the shooting has improved, and it's a threat now. And in terms of floor stretching, it's a great advantage for Barcelona.
Obviously, football has finesse, we know that, but EuroLeague has finesse as well. For example, in Facundo Campazzo. What's your take on him, on Facu?
Facu is a magician, right? I mean, I think we would all agree using the term, Facu is just, it just see things, before they happen. And that's what make him so great, and I would have loved, personally, I would have loved to play with a guy like that. I had the chance to play with Sharunas Jaskevicius or Delaney Rudd way back in the days, but we're talking about a magician here. He has a huge impact on the game on both sides, and the energy and his vocal, and everyone is ready to follow him no matter what.
I mean, people talk about basketball being a sport for tall people. Facundo defies that, right? He's one of the shortest guys on the court when he steps on it, but he changes the game with his speed, with his pace, with his predictability, in the sense that he can see what happens before it happens, right? So, his energy is contagious. And like you said, he's a point guard that everybody wants to have on the team. Plus, he's a great defender. He's annoying in defense, and you hate to see that when you play against him.
He's a poison.
And obviously this all pays into EuroLeague's entertainment, and that's also the reason why we're making a short break over here and giving it over to Dane Arlakis, because he's standing over there with our first guests of the night, the SBB, Simply British Ballers.
Lisa, here I am. I got B, I got Denzel, Simply British Ballers. And guys, I just got one question before we get into all the Clasico stuff. What basketball? What's that all about? I mean, you guys are from England, right?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the UK, it was always told to us that you should be playing football, but something about us, we resonate with the basketball a lot more, and we chose that path, and here we are.
And I mean, you guys have been traveling the world, going around from place to place, really kind of in the most incredible atmospheres. You're at the Clasico, you're at the Serbian Derby the other day. What's that been like for you to just kind of live that dream?
It's been amazing, man. I mean, we never thought we'd be able to see this many different experiences, especially from basketball, coming from the UK, where it's not the best, but experiencing all these different cultures has been a blessing, honestly.
It's getting there in the UK, though, isn't it? I mean, we're getting there. Thanks to you guys a lot. But what were your expectations? Because you've been here to the Palau before, but you haven't actually been to a Clasico. Right. What's the expectations and what's the reality just so far before the game has started?
Like it's a first for us, right? When we think of El Clasico, we think of the football. Right? Coming from the UK, Messi, Ronaldo, Figo, special teams. But here we are, about to experience basketball, and it's going to be something that we haven't experienced before, and we're super excited for it.
You guys aren't just staying for El Clasico, you got a big project coming up over the weekend. Tell us about that a little bit, Denzel.
So Sunday, 1 p.m., we'll be hosting the Next Gen live show. We'll have some guests on there. It's a watch party, so we'll be watching along. And I hope you guys join us, it's going to be some fun.
Lisa, these guys are superstars. I'm having a great time courtside with them. We'll kick it back to you for the rest of the show.
Thank you so much, Dane. Thank you so much to you guys. Thank you to you, Dane. Thank you to you guys, SBB. Obviously, we're going to tune in for that really amazing pregame show, the watch party that you're going to do, because you guys, the lights are turning down. We're getting closer to the game. This is all about entertainment. What did you, Maverick, enjoy most about this matchup? What, really gets your corazón, your heart, blaugrana going here?
Oh, especially when there is the contact, when there is the fighting. I love that. I love this spirit from the players. Also, from our side, it's something very common. The contact. Everyone wants to be in the front, and this is what I like when the things heat up. I like these kind of things, always with respect and being polite, but I like when the heat is up. And also, I wanted to ask to you, because I'm always very curious, but how was to smash an alley-oop?
To dunk an alley-oop, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did it. Well, you could a lot, right? You were jumping. You were a dunker, you were,
I'm very flattered that you remember that.
Exactly. So it's not just me, but I always enjoyed it. I think, an alley-oop dunk is always two-man's game, so I think the passer has to be just as good as the one that is dunking. But I enjoy that when I had the opportunity to do it, also in this gym.
And I mean, you're sitting up too. You're looking taller than Boki tonight, which on the paper I don't think is true. So tell us about that.
Yeah, we just, how do you say that, erased the scouting reports all of a sudden. You're 6'8", right?
6'8", yeah.
I'm 6'6", so I'm sorry, today I look taller. Anyway, the alley-oop, the dunk is just I don't know how to explain, just feel it's an artistic thing. You just trying to catch the ball in the air, and try to be a little bit of try to bring some aestheticism, in the movements, and try to stay in the air as much as possible. But there were some techniques, back in the days. Okay. When I was younger, we used to dunk and hang on the rim, and then the Sean Kemp-like dunks try to come up. you know, and so you just flush the ball inside, you know. So yeah, we've experienced that, and it was fun. It was fun.
It must be impressive with all the crowd.
Yeah, I had some kind of I had a few here, you know, that made people stand up. I'm sorry, but it was fun. Yeah, definitely.
But that's what I wanted to ask with motor racing. When you guys are on the bike or in Formula One or other sports, you guys hear the crowd?
There is a specific tracks, yes.
Okay.
For example, Jerez, which is our home track, you have two right side corner where the crowd is very, very close, and they are fired up. So you hear.
Love that.
It's impressive.
That's important. I mean, crowd is important. As an athlete, you want to feel that, you know.
Yeah, because basketball being a collective sport, you know, we have the contact with the fans, and yeah, I have plenty of questions.
Well, but you might have to ask them afterwards because we're already coming to an end with Maverick here. Maverick, thank you so much for spending time with us.
My pleasure.
All the best for the new season with the new team, with KTM Tech 3. We're going to have an eye on you. Thank you so much. And for you guys, we're going to keep on moving because we picked out the top 5 moments of the history of El Clasico.
It's a rivalry built to amaze, and we got the top 5 players. We're talking Barcelona and Real Madrid, and in number 5, it's Brandon man handling Real Madrid as he takes the rock and goes strong to the lid. The man rocking number 0 is the hero for Barcelona. He's in at 5. On to number 4, where we always get up off the floor. And just check out Nikola Mirotic on the soaring score. A southpaw spike in flight has Mirotic at number 4. At number 3, simply put, Luka Doncic is one of the best players in the world, and as a young buck for Real Madrid, just look what he unfurled. Just before the end of the third, this near full court shot is just absurd. Luka Magic gets in at number 3. On to number 2, where Facundo Campazzo is coming through. All in one motion, he fires this clear across the ocean before going off glass with class. Facu beat the halftime horn, and just like that, a hero was born. But at number 1, Joey D thought he was free from all the laws of gravity, but instead it's one of the greatest blocks you'll ever see. Anthony Randolph tracking back and smacking that shot lands Real Madrid at number 1 on the rivalry edition of the EuroLeague Top 5.
Okay. That final dunk, though, by the way, commentated by the GOAT-mentator. I love his work. Guys, you have to pick one of your favorites out of these 5.
I go with number 1. I mean, it's 2 athletic prowesses in the same action. You have Joey Dorsey, who's trying to go Baron Davis on Anthony Randolph, but he got rejected. And Anthony Randolph, this is an action where you see he's very, very lefty, and the block is just amazing. I mean, he challenged him over the rim. It's just amazing. It's an amazing block. It's an amazing dunk attempt, but Randolph had the last word.
You ever block one like that?
A few.
A couple. I'll go with number 3. I have to. Luka. I mean, he's Slovenian. Come on. I can't not say that. But it's not the only highlight that you can show of Luka. So it's one of many.
Yeah.
But these half court or full court shots are just a dagger. You know, you're going into a halftime or into a fourth quarter, and then the last second when you think it's already over and you're focusing on the next 10 minutes, you know, you get this 3-point play that is just out of nowhere. So those are tough. I mean, when you're on the winning side, they feel good. When you're on the other side, it hurts.
Don't you think that it's a kind of it became a common thing, you know, to hit that kind of shot? Don't we see it a little more, you know, in every game? I don't know.
You know what? First of all, we have more games than we did back in the day.
It's so true, yeah.
Second, you know, we have quarters. Back in the day, we had halves.
Exactly. Yes.
So there's just more attempts, in my opinion.
You guys are so old.
We did play quarters. I think you still played some games that were quarters, right?
They were quarters.
So, but you know, that's the point. I mean, there's more opportunities, and let's be honest. I mean, these players are just more skilled at the end of the day. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of them actually, part of the practice, actually practice this shot a little bit, at least to get the feel for it. Because you never know. This can be complete game changers. You can win or lose, you know, because of that.
It's super interesting what he said, but because in my time, of course, we had the end of practice, you know, half-court shot, you know, the classic. But these guys, you know, it's just like, yeah, the skills and I don't know, the feel of Luka Doncic is very special. I mean, it's just divine, you know. It's a divine way, the way he makes baskets sometimes. It's just amazing.
Listen, and you said practice. Let's talk about practice. Because, Alain, I see you're wearing green and blue tonight, but I heard that wasn't always the case. Take us back to your first practice here at Palau Blaugrana.
Well, yeah, it was not a practice, actually, Lisa. It was the day of my presentation, the official presentation of my transfer from Asvel to Barcelona. And so we left the hotel, and then we had to take a couple of photos on the floor. And my friend Joan Tayada was with me that day, and it was super hot. You know, I was super nervous. I was super anxious. You know, I didn't speak any Spanish at the time, so it was super hot. So I took off my sweater, and I'm wearing a white T-shirt. And all of a sudden, it was like 7 or 10 people running at me and said, "Hey, aquí no hay camiseta blanca. You cannot
white
wear a white
in
T-shirt in here." You know, I was like, I was so embarrassed. You know, but hey,
Fair.
that was my first introduction. You know, as a Football Club Barcelona player.
Perfect. I hope that your introduction as a Barcelona player was a little bit smoother than the one story that we just heard by Alain. Welcome to the Dash, Mez and Metu. We're so excited to have you here. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to
First of all, that's a special night for us as well. This time last year, you were still in the American realm, playing for the Suns, enjoying your turkey, probably post-game turkey. Today, you're here, part of El Clasico, one of the most exciting matchups in EuroLeague. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I'm excited just to experience the atmosphere. Obviously, we played them once already, but it was neutral ground, so I'm really excited to get to experience this great rivalry.
The right rivalry, and we can hear the team coming in. The hymn really exciting as well. And guys, this is obviously a night about, you know, comparisons, about learning a little bit. So I have not only for you guys here at the table, but for you guys at home, in the chat as well, a question. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. Do you guys think it's harder to score a hat-trick in Champions League or score a triple-double in EuroLeague? What's your take? And shoot away, fire away in the chat, please.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I will definitely go with the triple-double.
Because you never made one yourself? All right.
I don't know if I made a few, but you know, it's so hard, you know, in 40 minutes. You know, we're talking about European rules, the style of play, the restrictions of the time playing, and it's not okay. It may be easy to score 10 points, grab 10 rebounds, but I think the most difficult is the assist, probably, you know, because a regular triple-double is point, rebound, and assist, but you have guys doing, maybe you will have 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 blocks, or maybe 10 steals.
I wish.
You never had any?
I've been close, but with assists, yeah, I've been close.
Okay.
I've been close, but just to touch on what you said, I think there's not as many possessions in the European game.
Yeah, that's the main point.
And you probably have to have the ball every single time down if you're going to score and assist. So I think Cody Miller-McIntyre was the last person to do it.
Exactly.
And I mean, it doesn't happen too often in European basketball.
Oh, I fully agree.
Okay,
I think in basketball it's more difficult, especially in EuroLeague basketball. It's more difficult to get a triple-double. You know, the time restriction, 40 minutes, big rotations. You know, teams play 10, 11 guys on a nightly basis. So guys are not playing 35, 40, 42 minutes like they do in the NBA. There's talent here to do that. But as you mentioned, you know, especially the assists, you know, they put them in the stats a little bit differently. The NBA is a little bit more loose about that. Here you really have to create an advantage and then make a pass. So that's why it makes it much more difficult. And I think, yes, more difficult than to score 3 goals in a single game in Champions League.
I've scored 3 goals in my backyard. You know,
Nice,
when I was 10 years old. You know,
League.
it's not a big deal.
It's about the same.
Come on, guys, it's not such a big deal.
I think you're not pissing off any of the football fans with that, but fine, no problem. Guys, we're moving closer to the tip-off, so I'd like to look a little bit deeper into what's going on behind us and, you know, in the numbers as well. We're looking at like an overall situation of 18 against 18, looking at the all-time Clasicos. Looking at Barca, it's getting interesting because currently you're 8th in the standings. Back-to-back defeats, Paris and Bayern. Conceded 100 points back-to-back as well, which is crazy. I would have never expected you guys to do that one. You lost only one game at home, which is the Paris one. And then on the other hand, we have Real, 10th in the standings, but have not won on the road. What kind of a game are we expecting tonight?
I think it's gonna be a tough battle for both teams. Like you said, we've dropped two, and Real Madrid, they started the season a little bit slow. But the way the standings are right now, you win one game and you might be in second place. You lose one, you might drop out of the play-in. So I think it's going to be a tough battle. I think we're prepared, and you know, we'll see how it goes. But I think the last two games we've kind of learned from them, and we're ready to take the next step.
I feel like there's like an added pressure to tonight, though, because of the situation that I just mentioned. What do you think, guys?
I mean, these games definitely add pressure. They can completely change. I wouldn't say the whole season, but the part of the season. You know, you're completely right when you said one game can elevate you to second place, for example, and that's what makes EuroLeague the most competitive sports league in the world.
Nice.
One game changes everything. Now, put on top of that, you know, the atmosphere and the excitement and the expectation of El Clasico,
Yes.
and you get, you know, that's what you get, right? You get one of the most interesting games, and that's why these teams want this win so bad, because you can change for them the way they think, the way they believe about themselves, and things that they are doing month by month for months now. They can actually start believing that it's working, and that's why these games have so much weight.
Even if Real Madrid looks more in need of victory, you know, it's a game, you know, where both teams are just going to give everything. You know, it's El Clasico, and we talk about the tradition, and Shimezi mentioned it very well. You know, it's about fighting and caring about the ball. I'm sorry, and try to make every possession worth it, and on both sides. You know, so it's just a special game, and we're going to see a great battle tonight. I'm sure about that.
We are. Let's look at some of the potential key factors in these battles. Let's look at, for example, Jan Vesely, one of the really important players on the Barca side. We got a couple of numbers here for you as well. All-time leader in two-pointers, for example, guys. Far away. What will we see from Jan?
I don't expect anything that we wouldn't expect on a normal basis. I mean, he's going to be one of the guys that the Barca is going to lean on heavily. You know, he's that anchor underneath, especially with Chimeza being out. I mean, it's even more so. Yeah. And, you know, he's the guy that has expanded his range, expanded his game. So, you know, he'll bring energy for sure. They need him. Barca needs him to play at his best in games like this.
Boki mentioned the key points, the floor stretching ability of Jan Vesely. I'm not talking about three-pointers. He took maybe 5 this year. He scored 4 of them. But this is not what Barcelona is expecting from him. They expect the shots from this guy over there. And by the way, you played great in the game against FS.
Thank you.
I was there. And basically, today you have to take Tavares out of the paint, you know. And Jan Vesely will play a big role here today. But not only that, I'm sorry, he has to set the standards, the defensive standards for that team, you know, because after Bayern and after Paris, you know, combining 200 points in 2 games, Barcelona has not played defense at all. You know, so today they have to really think about that. And guys like Anderson, like Satoransky, maybe Nunez, you know, who's going to have a hard task of guarding Campazzo today. You know, it's all about setting the standards, and Jan Vesely is one of them.
Do you feel like the two guys here are doing a good job at analyzing your guys' team?
For sure. I think Jan is probably the key for today's game. Like he said, he has to pull Tavares out of the paint. And I feel like if he starts making shots early, and you know, Tavares has to come out the paint, it'll probably lead to them not being able to play Tavares tonight. And I think that would be huge for us.
Tavares has to get out of the paint. All-time leader in blocks, 88 blocked shots. Incredible numbers as well. What about Eddie?
He's I mean he's he's a special player. You know, by the size, the rim protection, and his ability, you know, to just intimidate. You know, because like Boki and I, we were talking about that before the show. I mean, you think twice when you're trying to go to the rim, you know, because he's right here. You know, he's like a big spider, you know, with his long arms and big hands, and it's really tough, you know, to go around Walter Tavares. But he's so key for Real Madrid. offensive-wise and defensive-wise. And yeah, the mission for Barcelona big men tonight is going to be they have to try to take him out of the paint today for sure.
I agree, and you know, he's one of those few players, not just this season, but in the history of the league, that really changes other teams' tactics. You know, when he's in and if he's on a roll where he really covers the paint, I mean, you know, as a player, and I played against him, like you adjust your game because you're aware that he's there. It doesn't mean you're not necessarily not successful. You just got to do it under different angle, different timing, you know, and stuff like that. And that tells a lot about him. So, yeah, Barca's going to have to do a really good job, like we mentioned with Wesley, potentially, to make him move on defense. You know, to have him come out more. This way, they can be a bit more successful.
Adjust your game how?
I mean, you have to be stronger when you're going in there. You have to know where he's at. And like I just mentioned earlier with Jan, you know, I feel like the two biggest adjustments is either you go in there strong or you find somebody that's going to be able to step out and make shots. And obviously, like I said before, Jan is that player for us tonight. And you know, Eddie, he's a great player, but I think we can get the better of them tonight.
Let's hear what he's got to say. He's been catching up with Dane. Okay, so amazing to hear Dane and Eddie catching up. Let's move on, though, because we don't have too much time left, but we still have a really exciting matchup to look at. That is Kevin Ponder and Facundo Campazzo, two amazing players. Maybe you just want to fire away, Shimizi.
Yeah, I mean, two of the best guards in EuroLeague, and I feel like they get the job done in two very different ways. Obviously, KP, he's great. He puts the ball in the basket at a great rate. I know last game against Munich, he didn't have his best game, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make up for it tonight. He's a great player, and great players rarely have two bad games in a row. So, and then obviously Campazzo, he's a great player as well, but I feel like his biggest strength is getting other people involved. Like we see there, 7.5 assists a game. So I think, and for me, the biggest way to combat that is we have to force him to be a scorer tonight, and not let other people get going. So it's going to be interesting. I feel like our game plan is we have a great game plan to combat him, and I feel like we're going to do a great job to execute it tonight.
So interesting. You
I
said
like
you
that.
got it.
Like, he was almost giving us the game plan. I was waiting for it. Come on, She-Man. Come on, She-Man.
You said you got to force him to be a scorer tonight, which is an interesting way of saying that about, maybe the epitome of the scorer in EuroLeague.
Hey, I want to bounce on Campazzo. Yeah, definitely. This is a very good point that you made. It's not going to be an easy task, but yeah, the playmaking is just amazing. And we don't need to mention that. But hey, they have to put him in a scoring position. This is a very good point, and we'll see how Barcelona will manage that. Regarding Kevin Ponder, he's been a non-factor offensively in the last two games, so this is the perfect occasion for him tonight, to show his skills, because his scoring ability will be key today.
I think he's going to step up today, and Kevin is one of my favorite players to watch. So fundamental with his pull-ups and the range he has. And he'll step up tonight, I'm sure. I think he's going to make this matchup very interesting.
KP was the MVP of October, obviously. Facu could, end up in one of the months leading up until May. What do you guys think?
Facu is hitting him. I think I read something about the importance of finishing the season. It really doesn't matter, what is going on now. Obviously you try to win as much as game as possible, but this is a race. We're talking about a race. Those teams are trying to be in the playoffs, and they're trying to make it to the Final Four. So the expectations are always super high, for both teams. So I think a team like Real Madrid, it's easy to say, they're not playing well. Yabusele went to the NBA and this and that, but it's not really the cause. It's a matter of getting the things together and believe in themselves. And Barcelona, they may be seventh today, but like you said, one game can change everything. So it's a matter of chemistry, it's a matter of moment, it's a matter of trusting each other, and we will see that on both sides today.
Hopefully, and we can't wait for the game to start. We're very close. We can already feel the tension and the passion rising here at Palau Blaugrana. Guys, so one final question to all of you. And I mean, I have a feeling what you're going to say to me. But who's taking the W tonight?
I think we're going to get them by at least 10 points.
Nice. We're writing that down. Let's see post game. 10 plus.
I gotta stay neutral as I can, but not just because I played in Barca and I live in Barcelona, but I want to say that I believe the home team always has an advantage in this, and that's why I'm giving it to Barca. Am I sure that Barca is going to win? No. Madrid has a great team, and that's a great opportunity for them to show that.
Well, I'm very happy to work with you guys. This is probably my last today. No, just kidding. Hey, you know what? I love my time here in Barcelona. I have so many memories. But I feel like it's a perfect occasion for Madrid today to turn the corner and to restart, to relaunch their season. So I think Madrid could win today. Yes, I said it, and I'm out.
And I'm out.
I have a question, though, before we go.
Chime, in terms of atmosphere, this is your first time here in Europe. We are halfway in the season. You guys traveled to Žalgiris, Olympiacos. You guys went twice to Belgrade. What was your favorite atmosphere so far?
For sure, Belgrade. Both teams. It was crazy. And then obviously Žalgiris being my first game in EuroLeague was a great introduction. I feel like every away game is always special in the EuroLeague.
Oh, I like that one. Let's see if we can add a couple of more highlights to everyone's experience. You can hear the anthem, the Blaugrana anthem going on right now already. So exciting. I hope you guys can feel this, can feel what's going on here. And yeah, I can wrap this up easily by saying this is a true love letter to the sport we all love so much, right? El Clasico live here at Palau Blaugrana. Thank you to you, Chime. Thank you to you guys, Boki and Alain. We will see each other after the game. We might try to get you onto the desk one more time. Let's see if that works out.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And everyone in the chat, we're so excited to have you. Make sure to hit the poll, comment everything. We're happy to ask your questions post-game as well. Oh, this is so cool. I love the atmosphere. Thank you. And yeah, guys, now make sure to tune in to either ELTV or watch this game on your local broadcast. We will be back post-game with everything you need to know about this game, and I can't wait for this one to go down now. Let's go.
A game known around the world.
The time has come for El Clasico.
A rivalry that runs deeper than just the court.
Final seconds to win the game. He's hit.
This is basketball heritage.
No, he didn't.
This is El Clasico.
Welcome back, you guys, to our post-game show. And I don't know, we didn't watch the game together. I don't know how you guys are feeling right now, but I'm overwhelmed. It got too hot in double overtime. I'm stressed. Let's go. I don't know. How'd you experience this?
Well, guys, we have to admit that we witnessed a very high-level game tonight. I mean, like you said, the stress, the tension, but I want to congratulate both teams for showing a lot of fair play. You know, this is something that we can't forget, you know, on the derbies, but I have seen a lot of positive actions, you know, despite of the fouls, you know, the intensity. You have players like Musa and Nunez, you know, apologizing to each other or giving high fives or asking you good, my man, and stuff like that. So this is very important. I want to congratulate Real Madrid for the victory because it was a tough one.
As tough as you thought it would be?
I'm sorry?
As tough as you thought it would be?
No, I mean, I was not expecting 2 other times, but yeah, this is a derby, and both teams were really trying to do their best, you know, to win the game. Obviously, you need a loser and a winner, but, you know, Madrid needed this one big time, you know. Barcelona played extremely well, in my opinion, and as we said, you know, Vesely was the key, the X factor for the game, I mean, for the team tonight. And he executed the game plan very well, and he shot the ball amazing today. And but it was not enough. It was not enough because you're playing Real Madrid. Like I said, you know, they were back against the wall tonight, basically. And this is the luxury of having Facundo Campazzo on this team. You know, it's just amazing the impact he has on this team. I think he spent like, what, 46 minutes today? Yeah, 44 minutes on the floor today. At some point, yeah, you could feel that he was tired, you know, that he was exhausted, but somehow, you know, he pulled that out. And it's just amazing how great competitors they are, you know, on both sides, obviously, but Madrid and Boki, even though you play for Barcelona, you know what I'm trying to say here. Madrid has that gene. You know, when they're back to the wall, they always find solutions. You know, this is very interesting. And we kind of see the ghost of the past seasons. You know, they're not ready yet. They're not at their best form yet, but they're getting there. You know, and again, I want to insist, the luxury of having Facundo Campazzo changes everything. Tavares was just amazing tonight with a double-double. I mean, the impact, you know, on both sides of the floor. But yeah, it was an amazing derby. I talk too much, man.
Boki, take over.
Yeah, it's difficult to not talk a lot. I mean, so much to say, you know, not just that we had this amazing game. We had an amazing game with double overtime, and that rarely happens. So, you know, people who tuned in today definitely got a treat. You know, this is basketball at its best. Yeah. This is EuroLeague basketball, and I fully agree with everything you said. You know, having those players on both sides, it's a luxury. You know, on one hand you have, like you said, Facundo Campazzo, you know, 44, 45 minutes, you know, I think he was like 5 rebounds short of getting the triple-double.
We talked about, yeah.
So it shows, again, how difficult it is, even if you're on the court almost 45 minutes to get the triple-double, right? That's something we discussed in the pregame part. But yeah, I agree. You know, Tavares stepped up big time, and I expected the same things from Barca guys. You know, Vesely started off really well.
Yes.
And then second part or last quarter in overtime, you know, Kevin Punter, it was his game. Yeah. Just unfortunately, he couldn't do it by himself. He needed another guy that would step up, you know, to be there a little bit more, to take some load off of him. I think that was too much.
Don't you think Abrinas should have
been
on the court in the last minutes? I was surprised, you know, because they have closed out the game with a non-shooter on the court, which is Anderson, and I think they needed Abrinas, you know, at the down the stretch. If we could just stick with Facu Campazzo for 1 second, because he was the one getting the magic moment in today as well with his three-pointer, getting his team into overtime. What, you know, on do we have it on the screen right now? Yeah, perfect. What does it take mentally as well in that moment with, you know, the situation on the scoreboard as it is to pull this one off? Well,
I mean, you got to remain calm as much as you can. I mean, this is a high-pressure situation, obviously, but he's seen it before. And, you know, the play they ran, it was kind of a diversion of a pick and roll that never really happened. And it confused defense. And it got him just enough space and just enough time to get the shot off, you know. And guys like him, they step up in big moments. That's what separates him from a lot of other guys.
We don't realize how quick is this guy, how low is this guy, and how smart is this guy. You know, because like Boki said, the screen never happens. I think there is a little misunderstanding, you know, between the two defenders.
Definitely.
And that 1 second was enough for Facundo to pull that out. I mean, it's just amazing. And it's cold-blooded.
And we have him on a screen, on air right now. Dane, talk to him.
Facu, man, you tired?
A little bit. I'm a little bit tired, yeah.
How much fun are these games to play? Because they're a blast to watch.
It's very fun. It's very fun. Playing a Clasico here with this environment, or maybe also in Madrid, we enjoy a lot. It's an extra motivation, you know, for us. I think today we have a big game for us, for how the season started for us, how we start playing like regular, you know. So I think here we play a solid game with the Clasico against Barcelona. In the first half we were a little bit lost, and also we were like losing by 4. So it wasn't that much. So in the second half we did a great job. Solid defense. We passed the ball. We've been generous. So I think we did a great job.
Walk me through that last play of the fourth quarter.
I don't know. I just tried to call Mario and bring Mario to the pick and roll and try to do a slip and try to see if they fucked up, if they miss. So I got it. Sorry. Don't find me, please. Don't find me. My English sucks. English sucks.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's the emotion of the Clasico.
Yeah. So they give me a little bit of space in the 3-point line, and I just released the shot, and thanks God, he won it.
All right, my man. Go enjoy this win. I appreciate it.
It's a new show, I guess. Yeah, it's new for me too.
Guys, and I'm going to tell you something. This is magic. You just saw him with Dane backstage, but right now he's sitting at the desk with us. Welcome to the show, Facu Campazzo. What a night, my guy.
What a night. It was a fun night. I think we did a great job. Playing this kind of game, we have a lot of motivation on us. Every who play, you know, a Clasico, you know it.
Yeah.
So I think that put us on 100%, and in hustle, in focus, and I think in the first half finished, and we lost by 4, and in the locker room we were like a little bit upset, you know, but it was a good thing, you know. I signed, you know, losing by 4 in the first half, playing our way with mistakes, and I think in the second half we switched up a little bit and did a great job in defense, but also in offense.
Yeah, and you needed this win because you needed the win on the road, right?
Yes.
You needed to finally win the road, and what better way?
Right?
So what better way than win here and win big to give you confidence for next games?
Yeah, like I say, it's a motivation. We have so many motivation right now, like trying to find our good games, our good way to play, our DNA, you know. It's been a little bit hard. We've been changed. We have too many change in the team with new players, and I think we are living like a process. So we are helping the new guys, they are helping us, and I think we are doing a great job. It's normal, we have some up and downs, but we gotta live through this, like grow like a team, but always be in unit, you know?
Good point.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I was going to ask you, what is the missing piece right now for you guys?
I think we have to believe more in us. We have a great team. Also, we right now we got some injuries around the team with Usman, Eddie and Serge is going, you know, with some hurts, back hurts and something like that. But I think it's that. Just believe in us. We are a great team. Some of the players who play the first time here in EuroLeague, so it's a big challenge for them. But we have to find a way to hide those, you know, Fabian Coser, Sergio Rodriguez, Rudy Fernandez, who can play Jabu, Beans, and try to improve as a team. Believe on us, trust our game, and just play. Don't worry about the, I don't know, turnovers, missing shot. We have to keep playing. If we play good defense, we don't have to be worried about the offense.
Yeah.
I got to ask something because it's we just spoke about it before you walked in. Like, how, you know, you played, I believe, close to 45 minutes today. You know, and it's not just you're not just playing; it's leading the team and making the big shots and making defensive plays. Like how do you do that? You know, with this schedule and with so many minutes you play this season, you know, how do you find the energy to continue to play at this level?
I think I trust on my teammate. They trust on me. They have confidence on me. So that make me play free, without pressure. And also I think this year is a big challenge because like tonight Anderson played different on me, so I gotta be focused on the game, try to don't be like impulsive or emotional. So I think that's the big challenge for me this year. Try to be more down in my emotions. Try to get the what next mentality. Okay, I miss a shot, I turn the ball over. Okay, what next play? So I just try to put my energy on that, and sometimes works, sometimes it's not working, but I believe in that.
No, but we see. Sorry, just one that we see the growth that he's talking about from year to year. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, you pulled out very interesting points, you know, and for the fans watching the game, for the young kids watching the game, what you said is priceless, you know, because you got to keep your composure, you know, in this kind of game, and this is what you do all the time. And I want to ask you, how will you try to maximize your new acquisitions like Rayton Mays and Feliz? You know, this is the first time, like you said, they play in the EuroLeague. How do you help them in this in that aspect?
We talk to them and give them the ball. They know how to play. We know how they can pass the ball. They can score in so many ways. We have been this kind of player like so long. So we know them, and it's the perfect player for this team. It's a process, like I said, but we don't have to do nothing special. Just let the time pass a little bit. It's normal, but give them ball, give them confidence. I think Chus is doing a great job on that, and me and Andres as a point guard and like a coach inside the game, you know, in the court, try to give them confidence to Xavier, to Serge, to Musa, to Mario, and control what you can control. You know, it's a little bit of, you know, cassette, but it's real. If you put your energy on defense, you don't have to be worried about the offense.
Facu, someone else who we pointed out right before you stepped in on our show was Edi Tavares. The guys mentioned his great performance tonight. How did you assess what he did on the court for you?
Oh, he's a hell of a player.
You get along pretty well together, right?
Yes.
that switch and the late pass, that he catches it. That's
it wasn't him. I threw the ball over.
Yeah,
I think.
a good one.
But I think we one of the top players in this team. We need it so bad. We need this kind of game from him, like everyone. We have to live the process, you know, and try to keep the team unit. So games like today, like tonight, it's very welcome to us. He's having a great season as well. And like I said, I don't want to repeat the things, but if we control the defense, we play with hustle, we control the rebound, we can score in so many ways, and I think Eddie is one of those ways.
Definitely. I thought you were ready to say something.
Boki, correct me if I'm wrong, but the size of Real Madrid is just impressive. You have so many guys can get in and post, and this is how they make the difference.
I mean, definitely is the size, but the other thing is the speed. Because Paco brings this other, it's other gear. It's almost like a car that you put in the fifth gear that many other teams don't. And that's so difficult to defend because you have the size defensively and you have that push offensively. So that makes them very special, for sure.
Definitely. And I can imagine that your tank is definitely empty for tonight. Thank you so much.
But he has 3 lungs. It's not fair. He has 3 lungs. This guy has 3 lungs.
Well,
he's never tired.
Don't say that. It's a secret. It's a secret.
Then play another overtime. No, just kidding. Thank you so much for stopping by, for enriching our show here. Guys, that was really cool. Take care, rest. And we can look next into the interview that Dane had with Edi Tavares.
The game of the week, maybe the game of the season. What is it about these two teams, El Clasico, that every game goes down to the wire, every game is just an instant classic and better than the next one?
That's what I told you. This is this is the Clasico. You don't know what's going to happen. So we got to control what we can control. So we give everything, we defend. We know it's going to be hard, but we got to fight. This year, we got to sweat blood to win every game. So we know that, so we got to do that.
I've seen you mad before. You're a nice guy, but I've seen you mad today. I saw you furious. And in that second half especially and into the overtime, what got into you? What switched in your head?
I have Alberto Abalde by my side to calm me down because I have 3 fouls or 2 fouls, so I was mad because I thought it was a foul, but it's the game. You can control that. The ref maybe see it, maybe don't see it, but it is what it is. But I have Alberto by my side to calm me down.
I'm just glad you don't look at me like that, my man. Enjoy this win. Congratulations.
Yeah, Eddie Tavares, what a performance of his tonight. If you had to sum it up in one word, what would you say about Eddie?
Oh, about Eddie? Well, he's just unstoppable. But what makes him unstoppable is playing with Facundo Campazzo. You know, you have
nice one.
Yeah, because obviously he has the size and he takes a lot of room in the paint. But you have to find him and you have to create opportunities for him to score. Easy, you know, and you want him near the basket, so you have to create situations where it's going to be for him an easy layup or dunk, and that's what he does best, you know, after the screen, continuation, get down the rim. Obviously, Barcelona tried to bring some physicality, tagging him or bumping him, and because they don't have the players of his size, you know, so it was a tough match all the time, but hey, this is what his 7th year now in Madrid, so he knows where he has to be, and there's no more even how to say that, eye contact, you know, between Campazzo and himself. It's just it becomes natural, you know. Once he set the screens, you know, he goes down the rim and it's a bucket. But yeah, congrats to both of them because they played with a lot of competitiveness.
Yes.
And they stayed calm. You know, that was the most important thing.
Unstoppable is your word. What's yours, Bucky?
He's a force.
A force. Oh, I like both of yours.
Yeah, he's a force. I mean, defensively and offensively. You know, he obviously closes down the paint and makes it very difficult for Barca to score. I was watching the last play where Kevin Punter came off the screen and he switched on him. You know, and was able to disturb. You know, Kevin's shot just enough that he missed it. The one towards the end of the second overtime. You know, that's the defense. And offensively, he's great in finding you know, ways when teams switch or when one guy penetrates, his man helps, then he seals the next guy so that they cannot get in front of him. And even if they do, they lob it. So, I mean, he has so many ways of finding great positions. And as Alan said, it's about passing the ball to him, right? Sometimes they don't even have to look, you know, and they can already throw it up, especially when other teams have a low 4-5 combination. That makes it really easy for Madrid to score.
Yeah, there's another way actually. I mean, what you mentioned is right, and there's the third way is when they played in the post, and he knows how to hide and play in the gap, and in that kind of position, you know, he had many baskets as well.
We could go on and speak about all the insane plays that we saw tonight forever, but I would like to flip the switch a little bit and look at the coaches. I think it was Q4 or first overtime. It all becomes a blur at this point. I saw Coach Peñarroya throwing his board on the ground. What role do the coaches play in a heated atmosphere in a game that means so much to both teams? Boki.
I mean, they're the composers, right, in front of the orchestra. They need to, you know, raise the voice and get everybody, you know, more energized if they need to. They need to calm the game down when it's needed. And I'm sure it's much more easy to be calm than anything else in a game like this. But you know, I was watching them as well, and you could see the passion and you see the desire to win because this game means so much. But more importantly, because both teams struggled lately. You know, Madrid on the road, Barca, I believe, now has 3 consecutive losses, right? They needed this win.
Yes.
And you can kind of feel it as the game was going to an end and it was going the first, second overtime, that pressure rising. But, you know, they're both obviously great coaches, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of them as well in the future. And players like playing for them. That's at least how it looks like and the information we get. So that's always great to hear.
Yeah. And we can actually hear from one of them right now. Dane spoke to winning coach Chus Mateo.
Coach, I don't even know where to start because it was 15 minutes of absolute insanity. What won you guys this game?
We believe until the end. We were consistent and we never surrender. We always were there, fighting, rebounding, trying to rebound because the offensive rebound is something that they got one of their strengths. And we were able to come back when the things feel that were not so good. So it's a good victory for us. We are going to enjoy it today because we need to win on the road. We didn't win on the road till today, and this was something good for us.
That's what my next question is. For a team that's been kind of struggling on the road, how nice is it to get this one as your first one?
No, it's good. It's good. I feel good. But probably we are going to win more games on the road, and we are going to lose some games at home. So this is so tough. EuroLeague is so tough. We need to keep fighting. We need to believe until the end. Believe during the regular season, and don't give up. Never we got to give up. This is the reason why we today came back to the game.
Cheers. That was a long game, man. Go get some rest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can imagine that Chus Mateo was definitely excited or relieved maybe even at this point. But to round this one up, to round the show up slowly but surely, we're coming to an end. We got two new voices at the desk, Vedat and Denzel by SBB, Simply British Ballers. We saw you in the pregame show already, guys. Like, we needed a breather after this. How did you experience this?
That's exactly like our first introduction to the El Clasico. You couldn't ask for something better than the double overtime game. Down to the wire.
I'm pretty sure you guys speak Spanish, right?
Now we do. Now we do. From hearing the fans, now we do.
Yeah, you got a little. It was a great atmosphere, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, coming from the UK, we know the El Clasico for football, and to come here and to witness this and experience this double overtime.
And it was an amazing game. An amazing game.
What you gonna tell your friends back in London?
Yeah, now we're gonna take this back to them and see what they can do.
Absolutely.
Nothing like this.
Any play or any player that stood out for you guys?
I was telling,
we were talking about Kevin Punter.
He had 4 points.
In the fourth and in overtime as well.
What did you like about him? Tell me.
The mindset, like they then said the go-getter. They only scored 4 points in the fourth coming in.
Very good.
It was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Give me the rock. And then did his thing. I think it's a shame they couldn't close out, but that's possible.
Beautiful basketball.
Yeah, it's possible.
So I'm just looking at his stats right now. 27 points, 50% twos, 25% threes, 78% from the free throw line. We talked about him before, and we said he really has to bring his finest shooting today. What happened?
And he did. I mean, he did step up. You know, he's a guy that steps up in big games, and that was a big game today.
But he needed a bit to ease into the game, right?
And he was, I was a little bit surprised, to be honest. Like, he was on the bench more than I thought because he started the game well. You know, he sat on the bench for a while, got cold, didn't get into the rhythm until crunch time, until fourth quarter, and that's where he's the strongest, the best. And he showed it again. So, but like I said before, he needed another scorer next to him in order for Barca to win, even though they had open shots to win the game. But I think it would be easier for Barca if they had another guy that at least had a little bit of a hot hand at some moment of the fourth quarter or overtimes.
So what are you guys going to, tell now your friends going back?
I mean, we have everything on camera, firstly. We're going to show everyone, post it, let everyone see. But I think this is what it's about. For us to never have seen something like this, to be fortunate enough to come here and witness this, it's not only what we can tell the world through our content, but we can go and tell our closest friends, the El Clasico, when it comes to basketball, is a different level. The passion is there. So
that's great.
It's incredible.
Every game matters in EuroLeague. That's all I got to say, you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so any final thoughts on this? How are we going to wrap this up? What do we need everyone out there in the stream to know about tonight?
Well, it was a great night. I think we said it. It's there's no better way to witness a Clasico, and it's probably the beginning of a new season for Real Madrid. Barcelona definitely have to make some adjustment defensive-wise, but both teams, they're still here. Like I said, the season is very long, and they will be both in the playoffs. And let's see how they're going to turn this out.
And by the way, your predictions were that right there. Who were the right ones tonight? Just dropping it.
Barely. No, but I agree. This was a great night of basketball, for sure. And we spoke a lot about the tension of this game and emotion. Yeah. But I think the true character of both teams is going to be shown in the next game. the next game is going to be the one. Is Madrid on the road going to be? Are they going to be able to start winning on the road because they were not so far? Can Barca bounce back, and how quickly they can bounce back?
3 straight
right?
losses.
Exactly. So the next game is the one now that matters the most. Now that this one's over.
For sure.
Oh, guys, so thank you so much for being here. I'm very sure that we're winning more than 2 friends, two
honestly,
EuroLeague friends.
We're gonna see you guys again, and you're gonna see us again on Sunday, 1 p.m.
Exactly.
We'll be hosting the Next Gen live show, watch party. So be there.
Tune into the YouTube channel EuroLeague live stream. We saw some killers today. Next generation, they're next. So we need to watch out for them. So tune in for the live stream. It's gonna be crazy.
Please do that, and make sure to follow all our EuroLeague channels as well, either on ELTV or obviously on YouTube or Instagram. Thank you so much for making this night such an incredible one. Berat and Denzel as well, and obviously Alain and Boki. This was great fun. And now have a good night, everyone. Thank you for being with us.